Hello and welcome to the Pro Cycle YouTube channel. I'm Tom and I want to kick things off talking about the TW200. I know you've seen the title of this video and that's probably why you're here watching it, but this bike is an awesome bike in its factory form. I mean, it's a small displacement motor, it's short in stature, easy to approach for anybody of any skill level, right? Handlebar setup's good, the seat's comfy, the big bubbly tire on the back, people love. The 1.8 gallon fuel tank, it's actually well constructed, it's got a beautiful paint job on it, and you can get decent range out of less than 2 gallons of fuel. However, that's where it becomes debatable. Whether you're on Facebook or on one of the TW forums, or even some kind of like Thumper Talk or ADV Rider, YouTube, everybody kind of has their own opinion on an aftermarket higher capacity fuel tank for pretty much any motorcycle. And with that said, we got with IMS fuel tanks and thought we could come up with something better, a little bit bigger, something to give riders option. Together, we worked with IMS, and this is what we came up with. This is a natural, okay, 3.6 gallon fuel capacity. It's a good looking tank, very solid. IMS is known throughout the industry for their quality and construction. Up on there, 3.6 gallons. That's double the fuel capacity of the OE tank from Yamaha. So I'm going to show you how to install this on the TW200. The instructions from IMS, they're great. There's just a couple of things that maybe, some of you might have a little trouble understanding. And I just want to kind of showcase that a little bit. If you want to see how to completely remove the stock fuel tank and everything like that, we have another video. I'll link it here at the end of this video that you can watch if you need to, have a better understanding how to get the seat, the plastics, all that off. Let's get over to the bench so you can see some of the components that come with the kit and kind of explain it from there, and then we'll move on to the bike. Now that we're over here at the bench, there's a couple things I want to mention about the tank. This does fit 1987 to current TW200s. The second would be, you really should wash out your fuel tanks when you get them. That's just one of the big pieces that came out. There were some other little pieces. It's normal for aftermarket fuel tanks. Rinse it out with water, dry it out for a day, or if you got an air compressor, just sit there and blow it out. Eventually it will dry out. So you'll have 3 of these little L brackets here. Now they're all the same and the bolts for them are all the same. This is where your seat post is. This bracket here, you want that L with the holes, the bend here going up, and these will also be the brackets that your side panels clip into, and they'll go right here like so. We want this lip here to face in towards the frame when we mount these onto the bike, okay? And there's no left or right, they are all exactly the same, so no worries there. So I forgot to mention, you will need to remove these oval rubber grommets from your OE tank to fit into the new brackets going onto your new IMS tank, so your side panels will connect. If you don't have your tank around anymore, you just don't have these grommets, or yours are just dilapidated and old, we do have new replacements on our website. Just go to the TW section and find gas tanks and scroll down and you'll see them there. Your petcock will use one of these same smaller screws there, and it does come with the new gasket. It does come with a new fuel line and some spring clamps. Now moving on to the seat post setup, so you'll have 3 of these rubber bumpers. Those will be used for mounting the front of the tank to the bike, and then you'll have this extra one that'll be here, and it'll actually come down with the bigger side facing up, and then this one here is the odd one out. You want the bigger lip here, bigger surface down, and the smaller surface up, and this will actually go into the metal bracket. And these are a pretty snug fit, so I do recommend, and even IMS recommends, just a little bit of grease or some kind of lubricant just to help that out. You'll slip that onto the seat post. The post will slide right in there, and that's where that grease will really help, because this will be a snug fit as well. And you will need your OE bolt, and that'll go in like so. Now before you get to bolting anything away, I do recommend a little bit of blue thread locker. When you have these installed, there'll also be a couple metal L-frame brackets that are going to mount to the frame of the bike. Those brackets will be here. You're going to need the longer bolts that come in the kit. And then you're gonna have washer, and then the rubber bung with the smaller lip here. That's gonna go into that bracket kind of like so, but just wanna give you the idea here, and I'll show you on the bike. Now we're on the left-hand side of the bike here. This bracket and the one on the other side, they're exactly the same, so it doesn't matter which one you put on either side. You wanna take the bolt, a really long bolt in the kit, slide one washer on it, run it through this bracket, slide a second washer on, then run it through the frame here, all the way through. Then you'll have a washer, you'll have the aluminum spacer, you'll have the other bracket, another washer, and then the nylon nut. Now, once you get this all put together here, tighten it up, but don't make it too tight. You want to be able to just kind of, with your hand, with a little bit of force, kind of be able to move the bracket, pivot it around, because we're going to slide the tank on, and then there's a brass nut that's inserted into the tank. You want to be able to line this hole up with that nut on the tank. Thread the bolt in, make sure, okay, pull it out, pull the tank off, then tighten that down. What I like to do before tightening any of it down or pulling the tank off, if you can, and stuff like this, is I'll take a little Sharpie marker and I'll just kind of like make a mark on the bracket and then somewhere stationary on the frame, right? That way I have a point of reference. So if for some reason it does move while pulling the tank off or anything like that, I know, okay, I can just line it back up and it should be good enough. Now, before you put your tank back on, this is anytime you pull your tank off and go to put it back on, always make sure that your wires, you know, are good, nothing got torn, nothing's frayed. Just kind of double check everything, because you don't know when you're going to be able to inspect any of this again down the road without having to pull everything back off again. So I just double check, make sure everything's nice and tight on the frame. Got to put a little bit of grease on this post here. Not a lot, but just some. Put some inside the rubber there. Come down, angle of approach. Drop that down. Put the rubber piece on. Washer and then bolt. All right, here we are, our TW200 with our IMS 3.6 gallon fuel tank installed. Once again, this will fit any TW200 from 1987 to current. One of the key things I want to note here is that the Maier and stock side panels both fit perfectly with the IMS fuel tank here. That was one of the things we really wanted to drive home with IMS was, hey, make sure that that works. Plus, we need a lot more fuel in this tank. I think it looks pretty awesome. Let us know down in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this video, if you'd like to see some more content about the TW200 or some other IMS products or anything like that, please let us know in the comments. Shoot us an email at info@procycle.us. Give us a call if you ever have any questions and need help with anything. 541-688-9543. Once again, I'm Tom with ProCycle, and remember, your adventure begins here. Bye. I need to put gas in it.